This is Jakai, guys. What is going on, besties, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hey girl, hey, or what's up, homeboy? Welcome to my spot. All right, so before we get into this video, if you want to see and hear about my labor and delivery process and everything that went on, some sad things, some tragic things, some scary things, first, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell button for notifications on future videos. And stay tuned because at the end is baby reveals. So let's hop into this video. All right, y'all. So I'm going to be looking down because I have notes here. If you hear baby, he's in the background sleeping, but he likes to grunt and make all type of noises. Also, my son's in there on his iPad and he's going to be making noise. And yeah, so let's get into this video. Now, I had my baby April 11th. He was due June 9th. So I want to say I had him at 31 weeks and 5 days. Yes, he was a super preemie. Funny thing is, he was the biggest preemie in there, which is funny. But anyway, so April 11th. Yeah, April 6th. April 6th. I called my doula because my feet had swelled, and it was my feet, my ankles, and my legs swelled. And with my previous pregnancies, I had 3 other pregnancies before then. I did not swell in those pregnancies. So it freaked me out, and I called my doula, and she was asking like, have I ever had high blood pressure? She was saying like, have they ever checked my blood pressure when I went to any of my appointments or whatever? And they did, of course, but I just didn't remember none of the numbers. So I called the doctors or the nurses or whatever and, you know, explained the situation. They told me to come in. So I went into the hospital and they hooked me up to the monitor for baby and everything like that. Took my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was pretty high. I don't remember the exact number. I think it was like 175 over like 113 or something like that. So they ended up monitoring me for a little bit, me and baby's heartbeat. And they were telling me like, we're going to keep you to see if your blood pressure goes down. Of course, they're asking me like medical history, wop wop, all that stuff. Maybe about an hour and a half later, they came back, checked my blood pressure again, and it did not go down. It actually went up. So they were basically asking like, did I feel comfortable going home with a blood pressure cup they were going to give me? So they gave me 2 options. I can go home with a blood pressure cup, or they could admit me to monitor, you know, my blood pressure and baby and everything like that. They were telling me they wasn't that concerned for me to stay in the hospital, but, you know, it was totally up to me. Considering I've never had high blood pressure before and I did not know what to expect on it, and my feet and legs and ankles were swollen, I initially was like, I'll just stay in the hospital. So before I continue, if you guys did not see my last video I uploaded, I think it was like a pre-labor and delivery video. It's clips of what I went through from April 6th all the way to April 11th. All the way up until I had my baby. So I might put like little clips here and there in this video from the last video, but if you guys want to go watch that video and then come back to this one, then everything will make sense. But yeah, so they admitted me and they were monitoring me and everything like that, you know, nothing too alarming on the 6th. So the next day, the 7th, the morning of the 7th, they came in and they were talking about inducing me early. They wanted to induce me at 37 weeks because my blood pressure was really high, and they were concerned that I would get preeclampsia. I never had preeclampsia before. I didn't know what the hell preeclampsia was, but they were telling me how like having preeclampsia could be very dangerous for me and baby, and that they wanted to take him out before I even caught preeclampsia. I was totally against the inducing me early because I had a whole birth plan, you guys. Like, I wanted everything to be natural. Like, I didn't want to be put on Pitocin. I wanted to labor at home as long as I could before I went to the hospital. I wanted to catch my own baby. I actually wanted my boyfriend to catch my baby, our baby. I wanted him to help with the delivery. It was just a lot of things I wanted to do as far as like natural and no drugs. I wanted like delay cord clamping, and you know, I wanted to take my placenta home and turn it into capsules, all of that. Anyways, nothing went according to birth plan except turning my placenta into capsules, like crazy. But yeah, so the 7th, April 7th comes around, and they come back into the room and they're like, oh, your blood is low, like your iron levels are pretty low. They asked me was I anemic and stuff like that, which I am very anemic. Like, I had to get a blood transfusion in 2010, I believe. I almost died. Like, your blood levels are supposed to be at like a 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't know. But mine's is supposed to be up there in the teens, and mine's was like single digit. It was literally like 3.2 or 2.3, something around there. So I had to get a blood transfusion. So I told them about that, and instead of them giving me a blood transfusion, they gave me an iron transfusion. So they kept me a little longer on the 7th to give me an iron transfusion, and after that, you know, I was good to go home. Well, that was not the case. After my iron transfusion, they wanted to keep me a little longer to monitor baby because his heart rate was dropping. So I'm getting nervous, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I'm not understanding. Like, is it me? What am I doing wrong? Am I stressing? Like, so after they monitored his heartbeat and it was fine, whatever, they sent me home with a blood pressure cup. In the last vlog I made, I think in that vlog I probably don't, I'm not sure, but I went home and I checked my blood pressure, and y'all, my blood pressure was like climbing. It was climbing. The highest it got was like 190 something, I believe, 180 something over like 165. So my doula wanted me to keep her informed about my blood pressure. So every time I took my blood pressure, they wanted me to take it every hour and a half. First, they wanted me to take it every 15 minutes and then every hour and a half. So every time I took my blood pressure, I sent it to my doula so she can keep track with me of the numbers. And as it was not, you know, getting any lower, she suggested, like, if it keeps this way by tomorrow, then, you know, you should go to the hospital. Go back to the hospital. So April 8th was good. I was fine. Like, the swelling went down a little. My blood pressure was going down a little. Everything was good. And then the 9th, I was in the shower. I want to say the morning of the 9th, I was in the shower, took a shower. And as I'm in the shower, I just felt really uncomfortable. And I looked down, y'all, and my feet was swollen. When I say my feet was swollen, you guys, I'm not even exaggerating. My feet was like this big, okay? My toes were swollen. There was so much pressure on my feet. It felt like walking on pins and needles. All the way up to my knee was swollen as fuck. So swollen. My hands started to swell. So when I got out of the shower, I called my doula, and I sent her a picture of the stuff, and I was, you know, telling her what was going on, and she's like, yeah, I'm concerned you need to go back to the hospital. So I'm like, fuck, like, I don't want to go back to the hospital. I just spent like almost 2 days in the hospital. I hate hospitals. Like, they just always find extra shit that's wrong with me, and it was just exhausting. I did not want to go back. But I called my boyfriend, and I let him know what was going on, and he was concerned, and he was like, definitely go back to the hospital. So I went back to the hospital, and they put me on the monitors with the baby, and they checked my blood pressure. And they were like, look, this is alarming. We want to admit you. Of course, if you don't want to be admitted, that's fine. We can always send you back home and you can monitor your own blood pressure. But I wouldn't be a doctor if I told you that this is kind of concerning, and we would rather keep you here to monitor you overnight just in case anything happens, because high blood pressure like this can lead to preeclampsia, and preeclampsia can lead to stroke, and you know, having preeclampsia is not good for you or the baby. So I was like, yeah, definitely keep me. So if you guys didn't know, the way they diagnose you with preeclampsia is you have 2 or 3 high spikes in your blood pressure numbers. And I had 4. So they admitted me, and then while they were monitoring me and everything like that, my blood pressure just would not go down. So the doctor came back in and was saying, instead of inducing you at 37 weeks, we want to induce you at 34 weeks. And I'm just like, bro, like I wanted to cry. I was getting so emotional because this was going against everything that I've planned on doing as far as having a natural birth. Guys, my hair looks crunchy, so, just excuse my hair. But yeah, so I'm just like, whatever you guys got to do for me to have a healthy baby, whatever you guys got to do for me and baby to be safe, it is what it is. So they admit me, they're keeping an eye on my blood pressure, they're keeping an eye on baby's heart rate. So they're trying to get him to stay on this baby monitor for 20 minutes straight. And he's just not with it, okay? He's not staying on this monitor. They're constantly trying to find his heartbeat. He's moving here. They put the thing here, he moves here. They put the thing here, he moves down. Like, he's just all over the place. So I'm in the hospital they coming in, checking me every 5 minutes. I'm just getting super fucking annoyed. Like, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to be in the hospital. I just didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to hear the machines. I didn't want to hear the sounds. I didn't want to hear nothing. I didn't want to be poked and prodded. And y'all, I felt like they was coming in every 10 minutes to take fucking blood. And it's like, y'all, how much blood can y'all take from me? I'm sick of y'all taking blood. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm already weary about hospitals. Like, what the fuck do y'all do with all this blood? It's just me. I don't know, but I'm against them taking my blood so many fucking times. You feel me? Anyways, the 10th come around. Blood pressure's still high. It spiked, like I said, it spiked like 4 times. And the doctor came in and he diagnosed me with severe preeclampsia. So he's telling me like everything about preeclampsia, how I could have strokes, and how I could have stillborn, and how I could possibly pass away. Whoop, wop, 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 wop. So they're like, if your numbers don't go down, we're gonna have to do emergency C-section. I'm praying because I've never had a C-section before, and all the stories I hear about a C-section, like I just didn't want to get cut. They have to cut through 7 layers before they can get to the baby. I was against C-sections. It was just terrifying to me, even hearing about anybody cutting in my stomach. Like, no, I was not having it. Everything in my head is just like going crazy. Like, my mom was supposed to be down here May 7th, and I'm in the hospital April 10th. So me and my boyfriend's talking, and I'm like, I feel like he's gonna come early. I feel like he's gonna come like soon, way before my mom gets here. The 11th rolled around. Nope, I lied. Let me back up. The 10th comes. I'm still in the hospital. Blah, blah, blah. They tell me, after they tell me they want to induce me early, they come back in maybe 10 minutes and they're like, we're inducing you. And I'm just like, what? And they're just like, we have to induce you. Your blood pressure is still rising, and baby heart is not where we want it to be. It's not alarming, but it's not where we want it to be. So they start prepping to induce me, and they put the pill. What is the name of that pill? Cervidex. I don't know what it's called. It's a pill they put in your uterus to, you know, jumpstart labor. So they put the pill in there, and, you know, they check me. During this whole ordeal, I'm like 2 centimeters dilated, and I think it was 75% of effaced. So they're checking me, coming in periodically, and nothing's happening. So they come back and they put a second one in me, guys. And still nothing. After a couple hours, they put a third one in me, and I contract overnight. Like all night on the 10th, I was contracting, and it wasn't bad. It was just super uncomfortable. So the next morning of the 11th, y'all, they came and they put me, gave me the peanut ball. And they're like, stick the peanut ball between your legs and, you know, basically just chill out or whatever. And after a few hours, they came in to check me, and I still wasn't dilating. After that, they told me to get on all fours, like my hands and my knees, and just relax like that. Maybe he will come down naturally, like gravity do its thing. When I tell y'all, they came in, gave me that peanut ball. I was on all fours for no more than 10 minutes. After that, they came back in and they were like, we're giving you a C-section, because baby heart rate was dropping. I didn't even have time to process anything, you guys. Like, I had to call my mom and tell her, like, she's in Georgia. I had to call her and be like, they're about to give me a C-section. And she's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. I could see it on my boyfriend's face that he was stressed. He was scared. I was scared. Like, it was a lot. So, as they're wheeling me to the back, it just happened so fast. They're wheeling me to the back, y'all, and the whole time I'm looking for my boyfriend. I'm just like, okay, where is my kid's dad? And they're telling me, oh, he's coming, calm down, he's coming. And I'm panicking, y'all. Like, I'm about to have a whole panic attack, because like, they're rushing me to the back. My kid's dad is nowhere to be found, and they put me on this table. I'm laying, like, you know what I'm saying? They're strapping me up. It was a lot going on. They strapped me up, and I'm sitting here panicking. I'm breathing hard, which is making my blood pressure rise more. And the doctor, there was 2 men doctors standing behind me, and I'm just asking, like, can y'all go get my kid's dad? Can y'all go get my kid's dad? Like, I need him here. And one of the male surgeons is like, you need to calm down. Okay, you need to calm down. You need to breathe. He's not making it any better. Okay, because now I'm angry. So I'm just like, y'all go get Justin. Like, y'all need to go get him. Y'all, before I knew it, he was out. He was out. The minute they pulled him out, y'all, I did not hear my baby cry. And I'm just asking him, like, why isn't he crying? Why isn't he crying? Nobody will tell me. Like, I'm like, why isn't he crying? For a brief moment, I see them, like, will him this way, and I can't look because, you know, they got me like this. And they're like, oh, you did so good, Danielle. You did so good. Blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm trying to fucking hear. Somebody needs to tell me why my baby's not crying. So I guess after a while, they get him, like, clamped off, and, you know, Justin cuts the cord, and he's in the incubator thingy, and they wheel him to the side of me. And he's just laying there. He looks peaceful. He's just laying there. I'm still not processing what the fuck just happened, y'all. Next thing I know, they wheel me in this room. I'm in this room with 2 other nurses. It looks like an office. I don't know. I'm laying in a bed in this room that looks like an office. And I'm just laying here. And I'm like, okay, what like, what am I doing here? Like, nobody's telling me nothing. Nobody's telling me nothing. The two ladies are in the like corner huddled looking at papers and doing other shit, and I'm like when am I going to my recovery room? I need, like, what's going on with my baby? And they're like, you know, he's fine, the dad is with him. Woo wah wah. Y'all, I sit in this damn room for about an hour. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, everything's numb. It was just a horrible, horrible experience. After they finally did get me to my room, all I wanted to do was go down to the NICU and see my baby, which I couldn't because I couldn't walk. My kid's father is nowhere to be found. He's down there with the baby. Which, don't get me wrong, I told him when the baby was born, he needs to be by that baby, be by the baby side. Like, don't leave our kid's side no matter what. You feel me? And when I was telling him this at the time, it was because, you know, you hear stories about babies being switched at birth. You hear stories about babies being kidnapped. You hear stories about nurses just like abusing the babies and just all that. And I just did not want him to leave our baby side. But after I had my baby, y'all, I instantly went into postpartum. Like, I was depressed. I was sad. I was crying. I felt alone. My mom wasn't there. And being in that hospital.
Okay, guys, I just want to add right quick. The nurse that was taking care of me was the fucking bomb. Okay, I loved her so much. I love her so much, y'all. She made my stay a whole lot easier. She came in and she told me that the reason my baby wasn't crying is because his cord was wrapped around his neck twice. This is the reason why nobody was telling me why my baby wasn't crying. This is why they rushed him off so quick and everything like that. It was just fucking crazy.
As soon as I got up, I got lightheaded as fuck, y'all. Was like, oh, I'm about to pass out. So she wanted me to lay back down, and I did. After I was able to walk, they took the catheter out. I was going to the bathroom, and like, I can honestly say I feel like I have PTSD from having my kid because everything just happened so quick. It took me a while to process what happened. And I don't think my brain fully still processed what happened, because the healing process of a C-section is crazy, especially when you can't sit the fuck down to heal. Mind you, I had to go back to work early. I couldn't enjoy I think it's, in the state of Missouri, it's 6 weeks, 12 weeks. You get 12 weeks of maternity leave. And being that I was part-time while I was pregnant, I did not get paid for maternity leave, guys. They don't pay you for being a part-time employee and you go on maternity leave. But that's nor here nor there. That's a different story for a different time. But I was in in the recovery room and I was alone. My kid dad was with him 95% of the time, and like, every time I woke up, he was gone. The nurses kept coming in. It was irritating me, and it was just a lot going on. Anyways, they started to get me pumping, y'all, and I was pumping, like, let me see if I have one over here. I don't have that little bottle over here, but they got little 60 and 90 cc's little bottles. I was pumping I was feeling like 4 or 5 of those at one time. And the nurses and doctors was like, oh my God, like, you're doing awesome. Like,
Ooh, wah, 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 wah. I was up every 3 hours pumping. They told me to pump every 3 hours for 15 minutes. I was up pumping every 3 hours for 20 minutes. Because I just wanted to make sure he was good. I breastfed. I wanted to breastfeed. So I wanted my milk to keep flowing. I wanted to make sure he had milk down there. I wanted to make sure he was good. I stressed no formula. I don't care if he's on his last bottle, no formula. So my pumping and my milk production was awesome. It was through the roof. Nobody ever told me when you have a C-section, y'all, it is the worst pain to cough, to sneeze, to laugh, to poop, to pee, to stand up, to move. You even think wrong, and it's painful. Like, the C-section, oh man, it's crazy as fuck. But he was in the NICU, and when I was able to fully walk, y'all, I was walking to that NICU, and he was beautiful, y'all. He was perfect. He was tiny. He was born at 4 pounds even. It's crazy, y'all, because he was born around all fours. Like, his birthday is 4/11/24. He was 4 pounds. He was born at 4:30, 4:35. The 4th month, the room I was recovering in was 4413, and it was just a lot of 4s. Lucky number, huh? Those 4s. But after a while, when I was good enough to go home, I started having a panic attack because I knew I had to leave my baby behind. And I was crying, and in my last video, I talk about how it's hard to leave how it was hard for me to leave my baby behind, and I don't see how some mothers can just leave their baby, you know what I'm saying, and just not care about their child and stuff like that. It was just really hard for me to leave him behind, and every time I think about it, it hurts, because in that exact moment, I felt like a horrible parent leaving my baby behind, but I knew it was what he needed. I knew that it was good for him. But in that moment, I was looking for every reason, every excuse to stay close, because I just didn't want to leave him. I didn't want to leave him there. But if you never had a NICU baby and a C-section at the same time, you would never understand how hard it is to not only leave your baby in the NICU, but to have to drive to and from that NICU 3 to 4 times a day, breastfeeding, or just doing skin to skin, being there with your baby 24/7 while still recovering. My baby's 3 months. 3 months. And I'm still not fully recovered. I didn't have the luxury of sitting down, relaxing to recover, because I had to get to that NICU and make sure my baby was good. So in the midst of being in pain and still cut open, like, I was getting to that NICU, y'all. And when I say 4 to 5 times a day, I mean 4 or 5 times a day. I did not miss a day seeing my baby in that NICU. He was in the NICU from April 11th to June 9th. And I was there every day. I had to start working the day he got out of the NICU, which is just as hard, and because my whole maternity time I spent going to the NICU to see him. But after a while, when he got out that NICU, it was one of the best days for me. Like, when he got home, I couldn't keep my hands off him. I held him. I just, best feeling ever. Yeah, so that's my labor and delivery story time. It was crazy. It happened so quick. Everything happened so quick. Like, it don't even look like I had a C-section, guys. I'm getting back down to my size. My face isn't
as chunky as it was. My pregnancy weight was 240. I was 205 pounds before I got pregnant. And I went up to 240. So yeah, let me show you guys baby. Ooh, stinker man. This is Jakai, guys. He's sleeping. This is Jakai. Say hi, stinker man. Ooh, this is a burp. He's 3 months. He turned 3 months on the 11th. It is July, so July 11th. He turned 3 months. He now, last time I took him to the doctor, he weighed 10 pounds, 1 ounce. So he's probably weighing like 11, almost 12 ounces now, 12 pounds now. He's a big boy. He's a chunky man. Yeah, if you guys want a story time on the whole NICU process and, you know, a NICU story time, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a story time on the NICU with pictures and, you know, all that stuff. That was a very emotional time for me also. Very, very emotional. Did you poop, son? Oh, you did poop. You stink a man. So yeah, guys, if this story time just seems all over the place, and I never wanted to do a story time. I wanted to do an actual labor and delivery video, but I'm sorry, things just did not map out as planned at all. So yeah, I'm gonna change his stanky pamper, and I hope you guys enjoyed my story. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, and don't forget, leave yesterday's problems in the past and just have a better today. Love you guys and be safe out there. Bye.